Elizabeth had her heart set on buying a Madagascar hissing cockroach from a breeder in Pennsylvania. I couldn't bring myself to do this. Why buy when there are so many neglected insects in desperate need of a forever home? We wanted to be responsible parents. Adopting is a commitment, and we wanted to be sure we were ready. I was making good money as a private investigator, but the money wasn't always consistent. Elizabeth had a thriving candle business, which meant frequent overnight trips to New Jersey. Sometimes you need to go where life takes you and be prepared for change. Grace Madison was a volunteer from the Baltimore Area Roach Foundation, BARF. She came to our apartment for an initial home inspection. We lived in a small studio in Mount Washington, 2 blocks from the Peabody Conservatory. There were a few basic things for Grace to review. She looked over the lease to ensure there were no clauses prohibiting cockroaches. As is typical with Baltimore apartments, our lease only excluded gerbils and pit bulls. Following guidance from BARF's adoption pamphlets, we prepared the studio by smearing bacon grease on the floors and cabinets. Elizabeth and Grace immediately hit it off. Elizabeth prepared a splendid meal of chicken samosas, funnel cakes, and dentist-grade nitrous oxide. We topped off the evening with karaoke and unprotected sex at our favorite local bar. Grace called next Friday to let us know that there was an adorable Japanese cockroach named Yamato, who would be available for adoption by the end of the week. She was currently being treated for cholera and was being isolated from the other insects. Yamato's past was unclear. From the photos, it seemed clear that Yamato had been living on the streets for over a month. She was underweight and in desperate need of a grooming. I wondered how anyone could have surrendered such a kind and gentile insect. I brought Yamato home that afternoon. I'll never forget how excited she was. The BARF literature recommended allowing a new insect time to decompress and acclimate to their new environment. Their guidance cautions against too many visitors in the first 3 weeks. We opted to spend the first night at home introducing Yamato to the works of legendary film director Jacques Demy. Yamato seemed to enjoy the young girls of Rochefort, but retired early and fell asleep peacefully under the plumbing of the bathroom sink. We closed the bathroom door and headed to the bedroom, planning logistics for the following day. Yamato was a team-building exercise for us. For the first time in a while, Liz and I felt truly close. Perhaps we were happy for the first time since before the shuffleboard accident. I went into the office the next day to thumb through my case files. A candidate running for city council wanted dirt on her political opponent. A woman from Locust Point suspected her husband of cheating. Nothing out of the ordinary. At lunchtime, I called Elizabeth to see if she would meet me for crab cakes and mescaline. Elizabeth was worried that Yamato would have separation anxiety if we left her alone for too long. Perhaps we were being overly protective. Grace came over that evening to check in and see how we were doing. Elizabeth prepared a delicious meal of coq au vin, loaded tater tots, and clozapine. We rounded out the evening playing several lively rounds of Twister. Yamato fell asleep on the ottoman reading Buffy the Vampire Slayer erotic fan fiction. Yamato is now 13 months old and approaching the nymph life cycle stage. She's taking online watercolor classes and contrabass flute lessons in the fall. We couldn't be more proud.